What's going on, guys? We're back with yet another tutorial. We got my man Monty here on the chair, and we're gonna be going over the steps on how to do a mid fade with the trim and texture on top. I hope you enjoy, and let's jump right into it. Do you wanna say anything?
Huh?
Do you wanna say anything? Like you wanted to be on camera today.
And I'm gonna just be here and I'm gonna be his assistant in case he needs me.
There you go. Don't forget to subscribe. Always like to comb its hair.
It's hair.
What is your pet? What do you identify as?
What is your pet?
As usual, guys, I always like to comb the hair into its neutral position, always combing according to the cowlick area. You can see back here, just throwing it forward slightly. You can even add a little bit of water just to make it seem softer. I am gonna start with a slight trim on top and come back at the end and add the texture. Using the wider side of the comb first, just to kind of go through it, and then the finer side of the comb to really work the water in there. There you go. Faded culture shears, which you can find at fadedculture.com. So we're gonna begin with our profile section. Straight from the back, down the middle. He's all dripping on his water. Hold on.
He's all drowning.
Where's my assistant? He's gonna have goggles on him next. The profile section is gonna be about combs width. All right, so we grabbed our first section from the back and we're gonna work our way forward. Grabbing a small portion of the previous cut section along with the new one, just to use as our guide. So now that we use that middle section as our initial guide, we're gonna come in with horizontal sections in the back, picking up some of that profile section along with the right side and keeping our guide. As you can see, this is the profile section right here. This is our new one. All right, so repeating that same process now on the left side of the head. It's easier to section when you comb the hair into the direction that you're gonna section in. Boom, grabbing my first section. Here's the profile, here's our new one. So we're gonna start the fade off using our WAHL Magics, no guard, and lever completely closed. Starting right under that temple peak area, we're gonna go ahead and work our way back, slanting it as we approach the back. So one thing you can do if you're new is you can start this same guide right under that temple peak area on the opposite side and then connect them in the back just to make sure that your fade ends up symmetrical. All right, we're done with our first guideline. Now, still no guard. We're gonna go ahead and open up that lever completely and take it up about a finger's width. Make sure you keep a small brush on your opposite hand. Always be cleaning up the canvas after every few strokes. Now using my one guard, and the lever is gonna stay in its open position. Again, taking it up about a finger's width. And the idea here is to always try to stay soft with these guidelines. That way it makes it a lot easier when we start working our way down and start to fade them out. All right, from here, continuing the process, now using my 1.5 guard, and of course the lever is gonna stay in its open position. Now I'm gonna start to exaggerate that flick out motion, so when we come back in with our number 3 guard, it's gonna be pretty much connected to the top. From right here, I'm gonna go ahead and switch my brush out for a comb it again down to its neutral position, and I'm gonna go ahead and skip that number 2 guard and jump right into the number 3 in its fully open position. As you can see, it's pretty much connecting to the top. It is leaving a little bit of weight in that parietal ridge area. We will come back in right now with our thinning shears and remove that little bit of weight. Pretty much done cleaning up the canvas, setting up our guidelines. Now we're just gonna go ahead and finish off the top part by using our thinning shears. All right, by now you should have two guidelines left. The first one that we created with the lever closed, and second that we created with the lever open. We're gonna go ahead and start with that top one, work our way down using our half guard. We're gonna go ahead and close the lever just slightly, putting it into a 3/4 position. It's basically somewhere between halfway and fully open, using mainly the corners of the clipper to attack these last two guidelines. As you can see, it did bring out this faint line right above it. So we're gonna go ahead and come back in with our one guard and remove that. So we got the one guard, lever still in that 3/4 position, again, using mainly just the corners of the clipper. Finally, we're gonna attack the first guideline. This is gonna be a 3-step process, starting with the lever completely closed. Focusing just on this section right behind the ear, as this last line is very tedious, so you want to give it as much attention to detail as possible. Now we're going to go ahead and open up the lever halfway. And finally, fully open. All right, so go ahead and repeat that same 3-step process now in the front portion of the ear. Again, starting with the lever completely closed. Now halfway, and finally fully open. So now we're done with that 3-step process. I'm gonna come in and do any touch-up work. I see a little bit of dark spots right here, so I'm gonna use my half guard, and I'm gonna go ahead and start with the lever fully open. That pretty much cleaned it up. Now coming in with my trimmer in a forward position just to get a lot closer to the scalp. Blend out that faint line that creates. Remove that bottom hair. And because we used the trimmer in its forward position, it did leave a faint line, and that line is gonna be used as a guide for our electric shaver. So we're pretty much done with the fade on his right side. Now you're gonna go ahead and wanna repeat those same steps, focusing just on the back side, and then finally just on the left side of his head. So now that we're done with the fade, we're gonna add a little bit of texture to the top by point cutting. Just creating these small triangles on the top. And when adding texture, I like to stay away from the cowlick area, so that way you don't get those small hairs just poking right up, unless that's the look that you're going for. All right, so I'm gonna add a little bit of water to the top before we add in the product, just so we can make sure that we work the product all the way down to the grain. And we do offer our product, our matte clay, wholesale, so head over to fadeculture.com to get information on that. All right, so we're done adding the product. If you're going for the wet look, you can pretty much leave it like that. And if you're really going for that dry matte look, this is where you would come in with your blow dryer and really dry the product onto the hair. Here, using my Faded Culture matte straight razor, along with our Faded Culture blades, I'm gonna go ahead and just clean up the sides a little bit. From here, locking in the style with a little bit of hairspray, come in with the blow dryer just to knock down all that frizz. You gonna join my closeout since you wanted to be in my video in the intro? Fix your hair though. You have like a cow leak, so you don't know that. You got toothpaste in your hair? How'd you get toothpaste in your hair?
It smells good.
All right, guys, so there y'all.
All right, guys. So
let me say it though. All right, guys, unless you want to say it, Monty.
All right, guys.
All right, guys, so there y'all have it. We did a mid-fade, trimmed the top a little bit, and added a little bit of texture. I hope y'all enjoyed this tutorial. If y'all made it this far, please give this video a thumbs up. And do not forget to subscribe before you head out. And if you want to stay, we do have more tutorials on the channel, so go ahead and check them out. As always, my name is Adrian, and I'll catch you on the next one. And this is Sergio.
And this is Sergio. We'll catch you on the next one.
Peace.